Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another edition of Scsr Uncut, where you get my unfiltered and unedited reactions to all the best and big breaking Pittsburgh sports news. The channel was on a bit of a hiatus there for about the past half week now. Cat's out of the bag now. Scsr family went on a little vacation, and I am doing this video in a pretty public place right now, so pardon any noise you may hear in the background. But the reason we are here for another Scsr Uncut, the massive breaking news that the Cleveland Browns, about a year after Myles Garrett requested a trade out of Cleveland before signing a $40 million per year contract, he is now out of the AFC North, and he is being traded to the other side of the country, going to the Los Angeles Rams. It's about 10 minutes as of the time I'm recording this since the trade went down. Early returns are that Jared Verse, one of the best up-and-coming young defenders in the National Football League, a first-round pick, and some other compensation pieces of the trade are coming back to Cleveland in the deal. So Cleveland making a big move here today on this Sunday. They trade Myles Garrett out of the AFC North. So much for having, arguably four of the best defensive linemen in the NFL all in the same division. You had Trey Hendrickson, who moved from Cincinnati to Baltimore. You have Dexter Lawrence getting traded from the New York Giants to the Cincinnati Bengals. You have TJ Watt still for the Steelers. And, of course, you had the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year and the all-time sack leader, even though Steelers fans don't really acknowledge that. Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Browns, no longer the case. Garrett going to the LA Rams. The LA Rams making an all-in push to go for another Super Bowl this season. They got their quarterback of the future in Ty Simpson. Didn't really add too many big chip names in the draft, but now they go out and they get one of the best defensive players walking the planet. Also wonder what this means for Max Crosby. You had Max Crosby in a possible trade to the Baltimore Ravens, but that got nixed. But now this trade does seem like it is going to be completed. There's nothing really stopping this. Myles Garrett to the LA Rams. As for Cleveland's side of this, they, I guess, continue down this road of a rebuild. I mean, they still don't have a clear-cut quarterback of the future. They're probably going to go back to Deshaun Watson again over Shedeur Sanders, so might as well, get as much as you can in real time for Myles Garrett, get the biggest bang for your buck before, he gets too much on the wrong side of 30 years old. They add back Jared Verse. They add him to an already pretty young up-and-coming defense. They got Mason Graham on the D-line. They got a couple of other pieces as well that just happened to slip my mind, but Cleveland making a big-time selling move. They get a first-round pick. Yet again, probably more ammunition to go up and get a quarterback in next year's draft. They get an excellent piece in Jared Verse, who I think he was in the running for Defensive Rookie of the year he came out of the draft with Will Anderson Jr. So massive trade. Just had to get a video out there. Myles Garrett no longer in the AFC North. He is finally, about a year after making it known he didn't want to be in Cleveland, he's finally going to the other side of the country. Now we wait and see if anything else, big pops up with this deal. And also this comes to mind too. I know there has been a tiny bit of scuttlebutt, just baseless rumors, people wondering hypothetically, what if the Steelers decide to move on from TJ Watt as, he continues to decline in his play and is making a massive contract. If Myles Garrett can get traded, I have no idea or have any reason to believe TJ Watt could not get moved either. Of course, I don't think the Steelers are going to do that, but hey, this trade proves that any trade is possible in the NFL. So crazy news. Just had to get my instant reactions out to all of you Scsr faithful out there. Myles Garrett traded from the Cleveland Browns to the LA Rams in a massive blockbuster deal. There will be, I'm sure, more reactions to this whenever the Scsr 60s and Steel City Sports Report live streams return here in about a week. So I'm sure we'll talk about this then. Thank you all for joining me for another Scsr Uncut. Myles Garrett traded away. We'll all talk about it again on a live stream here soon enough. Peace.